We are back on Morning Line. Thanks for joining us. Our guest with us is attorney Barbara McGinnis. She's also a nurse. She does it all. We're talking elder law questions. Of course, she and Tim Takis run a thriving practice here in town, helping folks with this. And, we were talking about VA benefits and the like. It's kind of like you were saying, there's an atomic bomb benefit out there.
Right.
And then there's some other Agent Orange benefits. It's not as though the VA comes across and says, okay, all these people were exposed, let's contact them.
Right.
It doesn't work that way, does it?
No, you have to know, and you have to
do your own homework.
You have to, right, and research it yourself and apply for the benefit. So this atomic exposure benefit, there had been like a vow of secrecy or something, like you couldn't tell anybody that
National
you had been involved.
Stuff, yeah.
And that's been, of course, lifted
since
for quite a few years now. But I think it was maybe President Clinton's administration when it was. So if you think you were exposed, you were part of one of those details, and it was probably very secret at that time. And if you have certain conditions now, there's a presumptive benefit perhaps for you.
But you have to seek that out.
You have to seek it out.
How would you start? How would someone start doing that?
Well, I think they'd know if they were involved in that project for one thing.
And then who do you contact? Is it the VA? And then you
call.
You say, listen, I'd like to find out about benefits. I would know I was involved with the nuclear weapons program.
Every county has a veteran service organization or a veteran service officer, so you could start there.
And here's a clue. Ask around. You're right. Everyone does. Some counties have better service.
Yes.
And it doesn't mean all of them who are involved with that are good people, but some are better than others, and some aren't as busy as others. You know what I mean?
That's right.
There's so many tricks to doing this right. That's where you guys come in.
Another good organization that very proactive for veterans is Operation Stand Down.
Okay. Yeah, which we've all heard about. So contact them. Let's see. Bob may have a question just about some of the veterans' benefits. Bob, good morning. What's on your mind, Bob?
My dad was a veteran of World War II, and I've got a disability. He's dead now, but I wonder if I could get any possible. I've got some health problems that I need some work with and payment on. Okay,
so all right.
So that's a tough one, though.
All right, so a father who is a veteran who's since passed, a son who has some disability.
Yeah.
How does that work?
Well, so the veteran themselves are always eligible for the benefit. In this instance, the veteran is deceased, so a surviving spouse could be eligible for a benefit on that veteran service record. A dependent child, but a disabled child.
See,
I don't know.
Because he's an adult now. I think Bob's an adult. So what would you ask? So meaning that if he's been, now maybe he's been been disabled since he was younger too.
Exactly.
So you think there's a chance? Because I was going to just think probably not, but.
Well, I would think probably not too, but that's just like off the top of my head. So I would research it and see, because there are a lot of veterans benefits and nuances to their programs that
maybe services that extend to the immediate family. Because I know, sometimes, Bob, and I think Bob's probably on this right now, is, Social Security has certain benefits sometimes that can extend to family members, but usually it's dependents. It's like you said. It's usually going to be
children.
All right, but it would be worth him making a call to his local VA office and just inquiring about that.
I mean, it's probably a yes or a no answer.
Okay.
It's not one that I encounter a lot, so I would lean towards no, but it's worth an ask.
All right, I wanted to ask you this, just of late, what type of things are you seeing coming through the door there? What kind of legal issues? Are there any things that have come up now, either that come up this time of year, maybe some changes within the law that you're dealing with some of your clients? Is there anything specific that, is more commonly seen right now for you guys?
Well, you can, we talked about government benefits.
Right.
We do a lot of government benefit work, and, we mentioned Medicare and VA. Medicaid, or TennCare in Tennessee, is another big government benefit program that helps pay for custodial care or chronic care for folks. There are some big rule changes coming up with TennCare later this month, or they're effective later this month, let's say it that way.
Okay.
And one of which relates to a pooled trust. It's a very particular kind of special needs trust for it has been for people of any age with a disability, a way of putting money aside in the special needs trust, and it's a pool trust. It's a D4C trust. that is a non-disqualifying transfer of funds. So you could set money aside in the special needs trust, apply for benefits, disclose the fact that you transferred assets to this pool trust, and still be eligible. Now that's only going to be for people under the age of 65. So that's a big rule change for a lot of our elders that we work with that need 10 care at home or 10 care in the nursing home. It has been a way of setting aside some money for those extra things.
Because usually you have to be destitute, right? Is what you're saying?
Yeah, well, there's a lot of rules about how do you what qualifies as destitute, right? I mean, if my mom gives away all of her money, she's destitute.
That's right.
But that still violates the rules because she became
impoverished. All right.
So gifting can be very problematic.
Because so we're gifting, isn't it? Does the feds? You'll say I'm broke. Here's my accounts. They look back 5 years, don't they?
They can.
That's the 5-year look, and that's the thing. Look, it's okay. A lot of people out there think, oh well, when time comes and I'm going into a nursing home, the federal government will pay for that, or assisted living if I need it.
Yeah.
Now, Medicaid will not unless you are destitute, and then you have to go to a Medicaid qualified facility, correct? I mean, that's
right.
And so that means, all right, for instance, my folks are in a facility, and we made a point, thanks to you guys, of making sure that they are in a facility that is Medicaid qualified.
Yeah.
Now, they've got a chunk of money that they have in their savings. Eventually, if they live long enough, that will be depleted to nothing as they pay for this place. Once that's gone, their only remaining financial income will be Social Security, which thus should qualify them for Medicaid coverage in their nursing. They'll have to apply, right? Is that what they'll do?
They do. They have to apply.
Okay, and they should get it. I mean, I've asked, because they poured into this place says, well, because they're here, we're going to keep them as long as they're truly qualified, but they're going to have to apply, and then the government should pick up the tab, provided they have no money anymore, right?
Right. Now, but there's all sorts of buts in that.
Okay, give me some buts.
Okay, so some buts would look like, yes, they have to reside in a facility that is Medicaid contracted. In Tennessee, you'll find the majority of nursing homes are Medicaid contracted. The majority of assisted living facilities are not.
Right. Now, my folks live in Boise, and that's still true there. They're in an assisted living facility, and it is. But you're right. And there's no requirement that they have to be, correct?
No.
I mean, that's the thing. These places don't have to accept it. And they will not put in paper that when my parents run out of money that they can just automatically go in. Now, they've said as much, but they do not lock you in. They can't promise you that.
Well, and a couple of reasons why not is
laws could change. Yeah.
Well, and they have to be able to meet their needs, their physical needs. So, unfortunately or fortunately, however you want to look at it, in Tennessee, you have to not only be broke, but you have to be very sick and broke, because there is a medical requirement as well. And that medical test, it's really functionally based. They're looking to see if you meet the criteria to live in that facility. So it's not just a housing program is what I'm saying.
Interesting. Okay.
So you're trying to meet a level of care criteria. So that's real important, because a lot of people think that mama's living at home, when she runs out of money, I can put her in a nursing home and Medicaid's going to pay for it. That is just simply not the case.
And a ton of people think that. And plus, if she's at home all of a sudden just dropping into one that accepts it, there's a waiting line for a lot of them to get it. Now, that's why, would you say, at least say, for instance, in my folks' case, they're not in their home anymore.
Right.
They've moved into this facility, and they are now there. And if everything goes as planned, they will probably pay close to, if they live long enough, $250,000 into this place.
Sure.
And I made it real clear to the staff there, we're not paying you all this for this time. So when they run out, you kick them out. Do you understand that? You will be hearing from my lawyers. Whether or not that threat goes anywhere, I don't know. But I expect them, once they're destitute, to stay, or I'm going to raise hell. And it's going to be ugly for them, okay?
Yeah.
And I expect that to be the case. I think that is the fact that they're Medicaid qualified. If they turn around on that, I think that's rotten.
Yeah, it is. It is rotten.
Yeah, and they're going to get rotten back from me if that happens.
Now, in Tennessee, a facility cannot limit you to say, we only have so many Medicaid slots. That's not the way it works.
Okay.
So if they say, we have 10 Medicaid beds and they're all full, Yeah. That's just not the case.
So they can't say that to us then, because I know they may only have. I understand why they still want to have paying customers in there, but the fact that they're already in it now, if my folks were coming from the outside in,
it might be harder. It's a lot harder to get in. There is a single wait list for Tennessee facilities, so not collectively, but each facility has a single waiting list. The only way to jump that waiting list is by medical necessity.
Okay.
So a lot of times people coming from a hospital and they need that level of care, that's an acceptable jump on the waiting list.
Okay. Would you recommend, though, then, for instance, you mentioned what Tennessee is, and that's for here.
Yeah.
Whatever state anyone maybe has loved ones in, for instance, my folks are in Idaho, I guess I should check and see if they have the same, and I think I did, and they did not have the same medical requirement, meaning that if...
Very few states have the same medical requirements
Okay,
we
I don't think they do. With my folks, it's more like when they're out of cash, if they've been here, and there's the beds available, and they're in this room, and we like them, they'll probably stay on.
Yeah.
Okay, so Tennessee makes it harder.
Oh, yeah.
Let's take a call for you. Yeah, that's why you need lawyers helping you. Let's go to Michael. Michael, good morning. Hi, Michael.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
I need to execute a durable power of attorney as well as a will. I have an adult son and daughter. My question is it advisable to make both my son and daughter the durable power of attorney, and also to make them co-executors of my will? Thank you.
Thank you for your call.
Oh, thanks, Michael. That's a great question. And a lot of families come in with that very same question, or come in with the very idea that they're going to make their children equal.
Right.
We very much advise against that. You can name one person primary and one person's the alternate or the secondary instead of making them joint. Very little reason to ever have the joint power of attorney.
Okay. Why would you say that? Is it because you need one person in charge?
Yeah, you need one person in charge. Decision making by committee is difficult. Now, your primary agent can consult with their sibling, consult with any other trusted advisor, and they're making decisions because that's prudent, right? I mean, we're getting advice from other people when we're making those decisions. But we don't like the idea of decision making by committee because there's not a tiebreaker.
Okay.
You know?
Right. Meaning that if there's something to be done and they disagree and they both have power of attorney, you're kind of at a roadblock.
And then it's kind of like, and for financial decisions, if you've got two people going out paying bills and buying things and writing checks, it's a little bit more, it's a little messier than if you have just one person that's in charge.
And he said durable power of attorney. That's the general. That's the general one.
Yeah.
Then. Okay, so something to think about, and I can see how that can sometimes be a sticky wicket if you're going to name them and you have two offspring that get along and you love them both, and you're going to pick one over the other. I don't know.
These positions are jobs.
Okay.
They are jobs. So you need to be looking for not just who you're related to and who you love, but who's qualified to do these jobs. A lot of times that families or a parent will recognize that one child is maybe a little better with finances. One child may be a little bit more empathetic and medically inclined and the better person to make healthcare decisions, and then they can be each other's alternate. For the executor.
I'm sorry. Go on.
I was just going to say they can be each other's alternate. So you might name one child to be
medical and the other financial.
Yeah, and then they are each other's alternate.
And
so they can communicate.
Okay. So if you have two, then I think that's a great idea.
Yeah. As long as everybody's getting along.
As long as everyone gets along. And I'll tell you, I don't know what Michael's situation is, but like, for instance, with our family, my brother happens to live in Boise. Proximity makes it a no-brainer. He also is very good at it. So he's the one that handles most of that. And of course, I support him on everything, but he's the one that's there. It's like you said, who's in a position to do it best, and because of proximity, if for no other reason.
You're just his muscle, right?
I suppose. He takes care of himself plenty. Listen, we'll take a break. When we come back, we'll continue our conversation. Taylor and others, if you're on hold, stay there. We'll get to your calls right after this.